They say love makes people do foolish things. If that's true, then I must be the village record holder, because my foolishness was legendary. My name is Tasyo, Mang Tasyo, as the villagers call me. And once upon a time, I was the man, tall, if you count my slippers, handsome, from a certain angle, and full of confidence, but not much sense. I used to think I was charming, and maybe I was, in a clumsy kind of way. So charming, in fact, that I somehow ended up with 5 wives. Yes, 5. Now, before you start judging me, let me say this. I didn't plan to have 5 wives. It just happened, like a series of bad decisions pretending to be destiny. It all started with Lena, my first wife. Ah, Lena. Sweet, patient, the kind of woman who could cook sinigang so good it could heal heartbreaks. She was my first love, my home, my everything. For a while, life was perfect. We had a small nipa hut by the rice fields, 2 chickens, and a carabao that was slower than a sleepy tricycle. Then came Rosa. Rosa was fire, loud, beautiful, and full of drama. She sold fruits in the market, and I used to buy mangoes from her even when I didn't need any. One day she said, "You're so lonely, Mang Tasyo. You need someone who understands you." And I, like the fool I was, nodded and said, "You're right." That's how wife number 2 entered the story. Now, you might be wondering, how did Lena not find out? Well, our village was big, really big, divided by rivers, rice fields, and gossip that traveled slower than a cow on a hot day. I thought I could handle it. Until I met Cora. Cora was different. She was quiet, smart, and always carried a book. One day I said, "What are you reading?" She said, "The Importance of Honesty." I should have taken that as a warning, but no, I said, "That's my favorite topic," even though I hadn't read a single book since grade school. And so, Cora became wife number 3. Then came Luningning, the religious one. She met me at church and said, "You look like a man of faith." I didn't have the heart to tell her the only reason I was at church was because it was raining and I needed shelter, but she smiled at me like I was the answer to her prayers. And who was I to argue with divine intervention? That's wife number 4. Lastly, there was Melba, the musician. She had this voice that could melt coconut oil. She played guitar at fiestas, and when she sang, even the dogs stopped barking. I pretended to be her biggest fan. I told her I was a musician too, though the only instrument I'd ever mastered was the rice cooker. She asked me to sing one day, so I learned exactly one song, Anak, by Freddie Aguilar, and sang it so dramatically she nearly cried, and just like that, wife number 5. So there I was, Mang Tasyo, the most married man in the barangay. I had to manage them carefully, like running 5 businesses with no accountant. I created a schedule. Monday, Lena, the cook. Tuesday, Rosa, the drama queen. Wednesday, Cora, the bookworm. Thursday, Luningning, the prayerful one. Friday, Melba, the singer. Saturdays, I told them I was working in another village. But the truth? I spent the day sleeping under a mango tree, recovering from all the pretending. Each wife believed a different version of me. Lena thought I was quiet and deep. Rosa thought I was loud and confident. Cora thought I was intellectual. Luningning thought I was holy. And Melba thought I was poetic. You could say I was a man of many talents, or just a professional liar with good memory. Everything was going smoothly for months, until one day, a rooster ruined my life. Yes, a rooster. Cora, the bookworm, owned a bright red, one-eyed rooster. She loved that bird so much she treated it like her child. And that cursed rooster followed me one morning, right as I was heading to Rosa's house. I tried to shoo it away. "Shoo! Go home!" But it just followed me, one eye blinking like it was judging me. When I arrived at Rosa's, she immediately said, "Aye, that looks like Cora's rooster." I laughed nervously. No, that's, my cousin's rooster. It just looks the same." Then the rooster crowed, loud, long, and dramatic, like it was announcing the end of my career as a husband. At that very moment, fate played its cruel trick. Lena, my first wife, walked by with a basket of vegetables. She saw me, Rosa, and that rooster, and froze. "Tasyo," she said slowly, "what are you doing here?" Before I could think of a lie, Cora appeared, running after her rooster. Then Luningning came, saying she felt something wrong in her spirit. Then Melba came, strumming her guitar, ready to perform in case of an emergency concert. I was surrounded, 5 wives, 1 rooster, and 1 very nervous me. I tried to run. My slippers broke halfway through the rice field. I tripped, rolled, and landed face first in the mud. They dragged me back like a criminal. The whole barangay followed, laughing, cheering, taking notes for gossip. The barangay captain arrived, confused. "What's going on here?" Rosa shouted. "He married all of us." Lena added, "And he said I was his only one." Cora was crying. Luningning was praying. Melba was playing background music. The captain turned to me and said, "Mang Tasyo, do you have anything to say for yourself?" Covered in mud, surrounded by my angry wives, I looked at the ground and said quietly, "Cap, I was only trying to be a good husband. 5 times. The crowd exploded in laughter. Even the captain had to turn around to hide his smile. That day, I became a legend. Mang Tasyo the multitasker, they called me. My story spread across every neighboring barangay, the man who tried to love 5 women and ended up loving none. Now I live alone in a small hut between the rivers, neutral territory, as I like to call it. Sometimes, when the wind is quiet, I hear Melba singing in the distance. Sometimes I see Lena at the market and she just shakes her head at me. And sometimes that one-eyed rooster still visits me. Crows once, looks at me with that single eye and walks away. Maybe it's judging me. Maybe it's reminding me. Either way, I've learned my lesson. You can water 5 fields, but you'll still end up sleeping in the mud if you lie too much. If you laughed at my misery, congratulations. You're officially part of my support group. Life lesson? Don't be like Mang Tasyo. 1 heart is already hard to manage. Don't collect 5. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more hilarious village stories every week. Drop a comment below. Would you survive 5 spouses? Be honest. Until next time, my friends, stay honest, stay single, if you must. And remember, even roosters know how to tell the truth. Eventually.